Hey everybody, Dave Denton, Independent Outsider. I already hit my first and of this live stream. So thanks everybody that showed up earlier today. I feel a lot better. I got some rest. I got some fluids in me. I'm feeling better, and I got a little food in me. So I'm still awake after about, I would say, 20 hours of sleep. So, Stevie, I wish I could get you on this thing, but I want to talk a little bit about people talking about a United States yellow vest movement. Personally, it scares the hell out of me because any movement that develops from another country's movement, it immediately gives me a red flag. So I'm going to read some things. First off, I haven't seen any solid information or any solid Facebook group or anything like that. They may be working behind the scenes right now, but this is what I'm seeing right now. So there is a push for join the protest, make it global. We are the people of these United States do declare our independence from banking and corporate interests. Sounds wonderful. We joined the Yellow Vest Rising Global Movement. All right. So they have 12 points here, which I'm going to read real quick. Unity, Yellow Vest Rising U.S., with this declaration to invite all American citizens and residents to stand united as one. Why can't we do that on our own? Number 2, equality. Yellow Vest Rising U.S. shall not be divided by political alliance, race, religion, class, generation, or any other mechanisms of division. To be honest with you, you can't really... I mean, you can put that in that what is a unifying goal, but you can't say this isn't going to happen. Of course, there's going to be attacks. Misrepresentation. Yellow Vest Rising U.S. shall not be defined by the unrelated associations or actions of its supporters, and she shall be defined by this declaration and no other. So they're basically saying people who go off on their own, not going to be defined by that. Well, then kick those people out of your group. Number 4, horizontal yellow stripes do not go well. The Yellow Vest Rising did not have a unique leader, which was what I was talking about. As such, will rely on spokespersons to get the message out, which is kind of a compromise between what James Young was talking about yesterday. You need people, frontmen, but at the same time, you don't necessarily need a leader, which is what I was talking about. So, okay, I actually kind of like that. Number 5, peace. The Yellow Vest Rising U.S. does not promote violence of any kind, though we will not turn a blind eye to violence and mistreatment of we the people by authorities or other violent groups. So that's basically, they are stating almost a Green Party right to defend oneself, but they do not promote violence and inciting it, but they're talking about self-defense. Each situation shall be handled accordingly to de-escalate the situation and ensure everyone's safety. And yeah, there are a lot of misspellings in here, so I don't know how valid this is. Number 6, free speech. Yellow Vest Rising U.S. invokes our First Amendment right to assemble and does not support censorship. I'm fully with that. Number 7, sovereignty. We, the people, seek to restore our representative government to best ensure our safety and happiness, severing the proxies, I believe that should be proxies, by which our political and socio-economic systems are influenced, by using the very same government wealthy business interests have used to control, manipulate, and surveil us. We will establish safeguards to prevent all future influence so as to give our systems a chance to evolve beyond banking and corporate control. And I'm going to get back to number 7 in a minute. Number 8, Yellow Vest Rising U.S. is seeking to transform the political system to provide transparency in policy and is such demanding total disclosure of global intelligence. So I would assume that they are for whistleblowing and they are for protecting people such as Daniel Ellsberg, Julian Assange, and Chelsea Manning and the like, and Edward Snowden. Integrity. Yellow Vest Rising seeks to restore integrity to the election process by establishing a process that has checks and balances and is easily auditable. However that may be done, so be it. Okay. United States, Yellow Vest Rising U.S. does not support any political alliance as the truth does not favor any political bias. We wish to establish a political system absent of political parties, as they are by definition the antithesis to a united people, as well as a mechanism of monetary influence over government and policy. So 7 and 10 seem to me anyway, conflict. Number 11, open internet. Yellow Vest Rising U.S. supports a free and open internet. Okay. Open source. Yellow Vest Rising supports U.S. supports open access to information and does not support the suppression of our innovations by corporate interests. So, okay, 7 and 10. Sovereignty. They want to use the same government. They want to use our government. However, they want to eliminate political parties. To me, those contradict one another. I agree there shouldn't be political parties, but you can't work within the system and completely decimate it at the same time. That's kind of my point there. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Someone sent me, let me see here if I can find it. Here we go. I don't know how to send this. I haven't seen it. There's something going around on the internet, and I haven't seen a link to it yet. It's called the Official Charter of the Yellow Vests, and they have 25 propositions. There's one that immediately caught my eye. Is number 3, and there's a graphic of a yellow vest, and there are different topics. There's economy, work, there's policy, there's health ecology, and there's geopolitical. Whenever you start talking about geopolitical, that scares the hell out of me. But let's just talk about economy, work for an instant. So what the yellow vests want is massive hiring of civil servants to restore the quality of public services before the RGPP, stations, hospitals, schools, post offices, I imagine police force, fire stations. Okay, that's a good thought, but my counter to that is don't completely overhire either. It's hiring by need. I happen to work for the United States Postal Service. There is a need. But when you overhire, that does put a burden. I'm not asking for more people than we need, because then you get into a situation where people are sitting around and waiting for work, and I don't want that either. But we are severely understaffed at the moment, yes. So, hello, everyone. My concern about the United States Yellow Vest movement is it is a reaction to a seemingly spontaneous movement. Who knows how much the French leaders of the whole Yellow Vest movement, how much they planned for this thing. My question is, where's the money coming from to fund the United States faction of this? Where is this going? What are there any true hidden intentions? I don't run into anything now. Nothing. Not a political candidate, and sure as hell not a group like this. So that's what I have to say. What I will say is that, again, going back to what people were asking me, I think Jeremy asked this question: what is my plan? Here is my plan. My specific skill is reaching out to people and connecting them with one another, and finding people with similar goals and helping them out and introducing them to one another. Now, what people do with that, kind of beyond me, but that's one of my skills, the organizational part. The other skill that I have is researching. Now, I'm just learning how to do on the ground activism, how to do civil disobedience, how to do it, how to go about it, and not really affect my family and myself and my job and all of that. There are people that can go balls out. I'm not in that position at the moment. Hopefully we'll never be in that position. So, but those are my plans. My plans are also to stay away from political candidates, because I don't think that is where my focus should be right now. Now, anyone who wants to do that, that's fine. I just say keep your eyes open and mind open, and just look critically at people's strengths, weaknesses, and their susceptibility to being co-opted. Because everybody can be gotten to, every single person. I don't care who it is. So, drop in the links. That's pretty much all I had. If anybody wants to chat with me or ask me any questions or hang out or whatever, I don't have a problem with that. But that was pretty much, for the moment, what I had in regards to this spontaneous United States movement. It always scares me when we have a movement that's in reaction to something that's going on in the European states. Oh. So if you missed it, Forsaken, I don't know if you saw yesterday, I was on with James and we were having a discussion. James is very, very excited, let's put it that way, about Jesse. I'm very measured when it comes to Mr. Ventura. I personally, I hope he doesn't run, because I think his role is to inform at the current time. I think he's better suited for that, and I have fear that Jesse Ventura will be used, and I have a reason for that. I don't have the links to it, but I know, and looking at the Democratic National Committee, that we have at least 2 ex-Minnesota politicians, or current politicians, actually. Keith Ellison is one of them. I can't remember the name of the other, but they were both involved in Minnesota politics while Paul Wellstone was still around. And I feel that the DNC uses Paul Wellstone's name to keep people interested, keep those progressives interested in the party. And now, I'm not worried about that. I just, first off, I don't think that Jesse Ventura's role is in government at this point. He's been out of governmental office for 20 years, over 20 years. Second off, he knows what's going on. He knows the insider-outsider game, and why he would put himself in a position as an outsider. My fear is he's an insider now. So his knowledge, his knowledge is so much, or so, he just knows so much about that, and he has he has united all of the conspiracy theorists. He has informed all of the conspiracy theorists, and for him, of all people, to plug himself back into government and either be eliminated or co-opted, I wouldn't want to see that, because he has been an informational mentor for me for many, many years. I don't think that's his role. Personally, I don't really see the positive use of government right now for the people until we clean it the hell out. Jesse works a lot, and I bet you a couple of those. I mean, you could say, when I go on, sometimes I look like hell. I don't really think he gives a crap about that, which is part of his appeal. His hair looks all like hell. He hadn't shaved. I never say never. I never say never. As I said, Jesse knows the game. Either he has an incredibly out-of-the-box plan, or, I mean, he knows how difficult it is. He's talked about it for decades. So I don't expect him, if he does have an out-of-the-box plan, to explain it to us, because that would be incredibly stupid. to just outline everything. But I'm incredibly skeptical. I've been trained to be incredibly skeptical. And the ironic thing is, one of the people who has trained me to be incredibly skeptical is Jesse Ventura. Yes. And we'll see. We will see about Jesse. I just can't jump on the bandwagon because, for me, red flags are going off all over the damn place. For someone who knows as much as they do about government and how screwed up it is and how corrupt it is, for him to jump in, as I said, he's either has an incredibly brilliant plan, or he's just another one of the people who got gotten to, and anybody can get gotten to. Remember, Chelsea Manning ran, and I believe that she was worn down because she didn't really fight. She came up with a few ads, and then all of a sudden she disappeared. You never saw her again. She was silent. And to me, as I said before, silence speaks volumes. I think she was just worn down. So we'll see. There are videos out there, and I think he's just, to be honest with you, I just think he's blowing smoke. But the Green Party better get off their ass and nominate somebody and do something. So we'll see if he runs or not. I would be surprised if he did. I'd much rather see Jesse Ventura run as a Green than Bernie as a Green in 2016. I think Trump actually said, or apologies, I think that Jesse Ventura actually said that. Basically, that he taught Trump some tricks, but he didn't teach him everything, kind of thing. And Jesse, I know he tempted favor. He teased people in 2016. I believe he teased people in 08, 2012, 2016, and now. I really don't think he's going to do it. I believe it was 2008. Someone mentioned, I think it was Chad Wilson, mentioned that Ventura talked about a long time ago appointing Howard Stern as his VP, because one of the things you want to do to protect oneself is to put someone in there that scares the hell out of everybody more than you, in case you actually get elected. And as William just said, Trump took some things out of his playbook, and that was one of the things. He appointed Mike Pence, and people are scared shitless of Mike Pence, myself included. Was it 2016? I thought it was earlier than that. I know that Stern was talking about being politically involved in decades ago, when he was talking about running against Al D'Amato. But I could have sworn Jesse had been teasing it for years and years. maybe as far back as 2012. And he does have a pulse on it. He knew about it way prior than I did. He introduced me to some very well-rounded people from the who was it? The Oath Keepers. From the Oath Keepers to Jennifer Briney. So he has introduced me to a lot of people. Okay. So maybe one of these days, if I get enough street cred, I'll be able to interview Jesse because I think he would respect where I'm coming from. I'm not gonna no hero worship. I want to know what the hell, dude. Why now? If you're running, why the fuck now? Seriously. As Cynthia McKinney said, insiders and outsiders, and they're definitely outsiders. So, and I know Jesse doesn't have a death wish. So, but anyway. Well, the Green Party is mired in its own. They have a fantastic platform, but we have to, as you said, we have to stop resting on that and actually get dirty. We can't be the nice party. Oh, Jesse interviewed Ron Placone, really? That's interesting. Because I consider Ron one of those kind of middle of the road progressive-y, work in the system, out of the system, Jimmy Dore disciple guys. Oh, we'll see. I don't know what Ron has said about AOC. Yeah, he's still kind of in the system though. There are those guys who are talking about reforming the Democratic Party. They're excited about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And then they support Julian. So to each their own path, do your thing. I'm just tired of wasting my damn time with the whole politics of the whole thing. There are appearances and there is what things are. And hopefully we're getting to the root of it at this point. So anyway, I'm hitting a half-hour mark on this thing. Yeah, I would say that too. Every once in a while, one of those guys says something. We have 45 from what Snort said and from what I'm seeing on the list that I'm seeing, 45 potential candidates with the Democratic Party for president of the United States. Actually 44 because Avenatti did drop out. And what Nick Brana said a while back was that the DNC came up with their charter which basically states that the DNC can deem someone not Democratic Party enough and disqualify them for running as a Democrat. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure that we're going to see it happen if that is true. We'll see. That'll be interesting, especially if the clown car has about 40 people in it. At some point, you're going to have a massive exodus, unless somebody is just funded. If you only have so many gabillionaires, and what are they going to just kind of divide it among each other and just continue the shit show for months and have like 20 people in fighting one another? I want to see those debates. You basically have an auditorium with guys with giant cards. How the hell are you going to have like 40 people in a debate? You're going to have the adult table and the kids table again. But yeah, the one thing that I took from Nick Brana was when he said a while back that the Democratic National Committee can disqualify you based on not being Democratic enough. Kind of like the whole Animal House thing, where you're not enough of a Kappa or whoever the hell they were, and they just put you in the room with the other nerds. I think it was 18, yeah. The Democrats will not be undone. We're going to have double. Okay. Yeah, nobody's really talking about net neutrality lately. My broadband is shit right now. That's why I can't do Zoom. So, but I am sharing my Zoom with a couple of people. I know I just heard from a couple of people that I now live stream with. Sarah Stevens, also known as Sarah Starr. She said that Sarah Friels and she are planning on doing a live stream. I don't know what the topic is going to be, if there is going to be any topic, or if it's just going to be kind of an open discussion kind of thing. Typically what they do is they tape it. So I'm also talking with some of the people that I talk to, maybe have a live stream with Deb Della Piana. That would be fun, because I'm sure that we would have some Jesse people on my side of the aisle of people that I know. I think that live streaming like this does have its points. I'm looking for somebody who is actually on our side that can create a service. I haven't heard anything from Kim.com in forever. And I was hoping he was talking about providing kind of a renegade internet provider service that's not reliant on any kind of regulations, and would provide us with broadband or streaming, that would provide us with the proper tools to do what we need to do. I have much brother, sister, warrior love for Sarah Friels. She doesn't hold back. So, and I've had my conversations with her too, but I have no problem with Sarah. the thing with Sarah is that she has no problem getting on the ground. She has her root cause, and she will fight that cause. She's she's fighting to expand her knowledge about DNC corruption, and I fully support that. I fully understand her point in regards to she's focused on the DNC at this moment. I have my ways of doing it, going back and forth. Deb has her ways of doing it. She doesn't necessarily do one about the Democrats and one about the Republicans, but I think both parties are screwed, and I think that, for lack of a better word, the Green Party has a tail between their legs, and we better be damn careful of being co-opted, because if the DNC actually is decimated and Democrats are decimated, they're going to go somewhere. And what better place to go than the Green Party, who has already been established? The Democratic Party won't have to form a new party and a new charter and everything like that. I think that's part of what AOC is doing with the Green New Deal. And do not be fooled in any way, shape, or form. I do not think that decentralization will be part of a Democratic Green New Deal. And that is where we will part ways. Of course, I'll fight alongside people who will fight for environmental reform and an end to wars. That's another one. You really think they're going to fight for Nancy Pelosi, Leader Pelosi, as AOC calls her, is going to fight for an end to wars? I don't think so. I don't know what the conversation was, so I'm not going to get into it. Sarah Friels has specific her views. I don't know, again, what the conversation was, but she doesn't believe in parties. I understand her point. My thing is, I'm giving the Green Party a shot. So, and to be completely honest with you, I've only been a Green since June, and I haven't fully invested in it. So until I fully invest in it and see that it's not for me, I'm gonna stick for now. But I haven't been completely impressed, to be completely honest with you, because I think, again, the Greens in my area are still, a lot of them, drawn to the very things we're trying to fight. Somebody in one of my Green Party meetings actually said, "Well, why don't we take corporate money?" I'm like, no, no. That's one of the foundations that we fight against. That's one of the things we fight against. Well, what about this person? I know that they're a Republican, but they said that they might give us this, and no, I'm not going to vote for anybody. And again, I will work alongside them once they get in, but I'm not gonna play that game. Just not. And the other thing is, if they state something and then turn around, the legislation process, you have to really pay attention to the way legislation is written. And I shout out to one of my local warriors. Her name is Marissa Pizza. That is her real name. Check her out. She's amazing. She doesn't live stream, but she is an amazing on the ground person, and she is a member and I believe leader of her civics organization in Brookhaven, Long Island, and she's incredible. Looks extremely different with the tall platform shoes and the mohawk and the pins in her face and the freaking fingernails that come out to here, but that it doesn't matter. So shout out to Marissa. We need serious people. I'm not worried about differences to a point. There's one thing that I draw the line on violent protest. There are some Greens that believe that violent protest is warranted, that it's part of self-defense, that by attacking first, that's part of self-defense. I don't feel that's a valid argument. Benny. All right, now it's a party. Ow. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get in a fight with you or Rand. I'd rather come to your garden and partake in your garden. Yeah, I'm sure you don't take any prisoners. And William, you kind of made my point for me. Hold on one second. This counter argument brought to you by Gatorade. So that quote, a third party can be corrupted like the other two, abolish all political parties. And yet, if he's going to run, he has to run as something. So he decides to run as a Green. Again, he's making a compromise. He doesn't believe in political parties, but he's going to run in one. If he ran as an independent, that would be fun. But again, I would want to know where his money's coming from, because he talks about corporate money. And if he's going to run, I want to damn well see anybody who is endorsing him or anybody that is giving him money, PACs or anything else. And I want to see those stickers on his jacket. Just like he said, I want to know who's funding him. But that's part of the point that I'm coming out with. Why now? Why is Jesse running now? I mean, there's another thing. There used to be write-in ballots. Even for local elections, they completely ignore anybody writing anyone in unless there's a quote-unquote significant number. And what's a quote-unquote significant number? Benny, I hope you're doing better. I hope you're feeling well. I want to stay on for another 15 minutes just for Benny, because I don't see her that often. Maybe. I want to hear him say that, though. There are a lot of maybes. I don't know why the hell he's running. That's why I'm saying maybe, maybe, maybe. I have no idea. Even James said he didn't know. I'm here for all y'all. Lisa, Benny, even William, I guess. I know that this is a small echo chamber, but small echo chambers are okay. Nah, he's just playing. It's kind of pointless. And I going back to what I started this with, I don't trust quote unquote spontaneous American movements based on European movements. I don't trust this yellow vest movement as of yet. Looks good, but I want to know where the organization is from. I want to know some of the people that are in it. I want to know where they're getting their policies from. I want to know if there's any political influence whatsoever. They're saying there's no political influence, but they want to work in the system, but they don't want political parties. Again, that's true. We are not Europe. There are significant differences. Curious to know. I have heard many stories of Europeans laughing at how privileged we are. And how many real world problems we have. And there are people that are really hurting, and there are people with middle class problems. They'd be wearing middle finger hats. They wouldn't be wearing pussy hats. They get right to the friggin' point. Yeah, just talk to Cleopatra, Matahari. It's true. Can you imagine? Oh my God. A quote unquote hot female president. I don't think people lose their goddamn minds. Good Lord. You know an important vote is coming up when they unbutton a button. I'm just saying. Use what you got. But hell, I don't know. I don't know if I should stay on. Jamal Thomas is having a blockbuster competitive live stream right now about chess. Yeah, we could have a conversation about who the most attractive politician is. Oh, can I just say too, that to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, stop bitching and moaning about us complaining about your wardrobe. You are complaining about rent, all right? You're bitching about rent, and then you turn around and complain that we point out that you have a very expensive wardrobe. Who gave you your wardrobe? That's the point. Oh, she's a gold digger way over town with expensive shoes. It's not about what you wear, it's about who you're getting the money from and who you are listening to. I respect your I respect your protest of Leader Pelosi's office. I always joke that how can you have a protest when Nancy Pelosi knows you're in the office? She probably gave you the damn key. Get the fuck. And anyone that gets their wardrobe, it's a valid point. Donald Trump is talking about how we can't afford to pay our postal workers. I believe I posted that story somewhere. I'm going to have to go back in my live stream on the postal worker thing. But how can you say that you can't afford to pay our postal workers, and yet we have Ocasio-Cortez wearing a friggin' whatever, posing for Vanity Fair. We have Bernie Sanders with his $1,200 coat. Now, if he bought it himself, that's fine. We have politicians with tax breaks, and our defense budget is through the roof, but we can't pay to help people through a rough patch, and we can't pay our civil servants, or we can't pay our civil service employees. Give me a break. No, she didn't own the clothes. My point is they're giving them to her, or they're loaning them to her. I don't even know. But it's okay to question. Who the hell with the pantsuit? Who started the pantsuit? What was the Jackie O? Was it Jackie O with the pantsuit decades ago? Was she the one that started it? I know Hillary was rocking those things out forever. That's my point. We're talking about pantsuits and we're talking about coats. One, I'm not talking about a really cold night, but one thing I would suggest is that one night, turn your heat all the way down and keep it off for 2 days if you are used to the heat. I want to know where the pantsuit actually. Why not? Let's research it for a second. Was it Mary Tyler Moore? Who knows? Hold on. Oh, good God. Lord have mercy. That was awful. I won't show that. That's Hillary Clinton in an orange pantsuit. She looks like a walking creamsicle. Hold on. Oh. They were talking about Marlena Dietrich. It is an 80s thing. Let's see here. Good Lord. Okay. I knew there was something to the Jackie O. Jackie Onassis was wearing a pantsuit when JFK was assassinated. But if you remember, the current pantsuit trend started in the 80s with Dynasty and those giant shoulder pads. And yes, you can quote me by saying shoulder pads. No. Yeah, this. Why the picture all of a sudden? Yeah, why not? He's done it before. I'm sure. I believe he wore a kind of like a pure white pantsuit. I'd have to check it out. I know he's wore bodysuits before when he was wrestling. So anyway, this has hit the hour mark, and if I really want this to be part of my video library, I have a feeling I'm going to have to trim this down because this one kind of this one kind of went off the rail. Thanks, everybody. You guys Oh yeah, Ivanka with her pantsuits too. I forgot about Ivanka's pantsuits. Or Ivana, not Ivanka. Ivana. Anyway, you guys, you guys take it easy. Thanks everybody for staying up with me. See y'all later. Indio out.